please let me use your textbook. And it would work every time.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was annoying after.
We're all good.
Yeah.
We're doing this?
Swear.
Not only
There's a
have
lot of
I
technology
done-
going on just to do a live stream, right? So, yeah, we're live.
Yay!
Yay.
Hello.
Hi, Mom.
Look at you, you're on TV for once.
Oh,
Now I'm nervous.
Yeah, I know, you got quiet all of a sudden now.
Stage
What
fright.
did I do?
I guess we should just kind of go around.
I'm going to Disneyland.
That's why probably.
Oh my
My
god.
subconscious. is
Trying to
like,
like rein this circus in is like ridiculous.
Herding cats.
Yeah, right? Why don't we go around and like
Well, why don't we
kind
start with you then? You're
of...
the-
No, you start, like, let's go this way.
We have to make it like in
You
order.
set the tone.
Yeah.
Are we
Well,
playing ice?
hello guys.
No,
How you
we're
doing?
not. For the love of God, no.
Well, hello. I'm Jeff Palomero. I work with the label. I'm an A&R executive with like a year now. I think I've been with you guys. So, yeah, I'm here to say hello.
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 It's not an AA meeting.
I have
Hi, Jeff.
I have an addiction, and my addiction is punk rock.
Oh my gosh.
and
It's gonna be a long
tattoos and good stuff like that, and Manic Records. So here's Pete.
Yeah, okay, so I'm Pete, I guess. Jack of all trades, master of none. I think that's like the best title I can give. So, yeah. And I've
What do you do, Pete?
Exactly, Jack of all trades, master of none.
What's your job title, Pete?
I guess I run this shit, right? Sometimes.
He's the big boss man.
Yeah, sure. Since, 2015.
2015.
Yeah. So, cool.
That's when I first met you, by the way.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Haley. I work in the marketing department. Probably been here, 6 months now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, hey.
Alright.
You did a great job.
I work in the A&R department. I've been here since the start of quarantine. So whenever that happened, I'm irrelevant now. I have no
Time's a
idea.
construct.
Sometime
Yeah,
in March.
it's just like an idea at this point. But I'm John.
I'm Jenna. I'm the director of social media and marketing. I think I've been with you guys for 3 years now. Yeah, and when I first came here, I got pied in the face.
That was your first day.
Oh, I think
Wow.
it was like, yeah, it was in like that
I
first
didn't
like
know that.
couple of weeks.
Did or didn't?
It was great.
Why?
Yeah. What? For
Why?
what? For
Oh, we got
For-
don't take.
it's lupus. Lupus. Yes, pied in the face for lupus. I forgot.
She just remembers being pied in the face.
I do. It was I volunteered. You were like, who's gonna get pied in the face? And I was like, I'll do it. And you were like, well, you just started, but here we go.
Here's the pie.
Welcome.
Yeah, welcome.
So I'm Josie. I've been here like 6 months as well, I think. I'm one of Pete's assistants. I join the marketing team sometimes, and that's what I do.
She hangs out with the cool kids.
I'm Ed. I'm one of the audio engineers, and I've been with Manic for 4 to 5 years.
Something like that.
Something like that.
I'm Brian. Oh.
And I'm an alcoholic.
That was definitely an intro for that. I don't really want to say it, but everybody's thinking it.
I'm sorry, I'm punk and drug lick.
I'm Brian. I'm one of the A&R executives. I've been with the label for 6 months now. About 6 months.
Wow, there's a bunch of us at the 6-month mark.
That's right.
Well, it's my
We
second
had
stint.
turnover at that particular moment.
It's my second
We're out
stint
of
with the label, technically.
phase
Oh
now.
god, yeah. You guys are out of the honeymoon phase like the first month. Shit's about to get real.
Was it February when I started?
Oh,
I don't
no,
remember.
John.
I don't remember.
Didn't you start like right after me, right?
I have no
I'll
idea what
start for you.
Yeah,
I started
in January.
like the middle of
So we have a off-screen
I think I was-
moderator. I think she's gonna be like that don't voice that just like appears from the back. So we got like a ton of questions that came in, and there's nothing that's off the table. So please feel free. Definitely send them in through the group chats, through Punk Hub, through Facebook, through Instagram Live. Go ahead. Nothing is really, off the table for us. So go for it.
All right.
Choose your words.
You really want to say
To a
that?
certain point. To a certain point, I guess.
I dare you to ask anything.
No. No.
Please don't do that.
Yeah,
I plead the fifth.
Are we ready for our first question?
please. Sure. Let's go.
All right, let's start with James A. from New Jersey. He asks,
what's been a positive surprise you've gotten out of quarantining?
That's a really
I
good
found out
That's a hard
lot more
one.
movies than I did before quarantine, so that's a good start for me.
We're talking label specific.
Or are we? That seemed
How
Or like
about
personally.
Personally, let's
I
get to
thought-
know each other.
That's what I thought we were doing.
I found out my license was like suspended, so it's
That's positive though.
It's definitely not positive.
no.
I mean, it's positive that you know now, so like, at least
Fair
you're not
enough.
driving dirty.
Oh my God. I guess we've seen what we can do. Not having touring or anything, we get creative real quickly.
Yeah.
Hence Punk Up Live, hence all the live
This is why
streaming
we-
and everything. So we get super creative when we have to. So give us a lot of credit
We
for
had a
that.
lot of good time to brainstorm. We
Sure.
also actually kind of nice.
We had time to make contact with some influencers during
That's
quarantine.
true.
That was a
Yeah.
important.
Yeah, but we were just like, okay, but we have nothing going on. Let's make things going on, and then we had to get really creative, and I think it's actually been doing pretty well. I mean, we got like a lot of t-shirt stuff coming up, like merch stuff, which is really exciting. Glasses, we had all this stuff going on.
Summer bundle.
Yeah.
BYOB.
BYOB, very good.
Shameless plug. Let me pick that one up.
Stuff like that. Yeah.
Build your own bundle.
Yeah, it doesn't
Not
mean
bring your own bottle,
Yeah.
as you would said.
It can mean whatever
So
you
now
want
the
it to
tables.
mean.
The tables have turned. You think I'm not playing this game
Oh
too?
man.
Also seeing the artists that work on our catalog, being able to adapt to the situation and being able to do some live stuff on their own, live or
On their own,
even
too.
on their own as well.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So it's been a very adaptable situation. It sucks for everybody, but I think everyone's doing pretty well considering the odds.
Yeah.
And it's been a great. I think personally, a great feedback and it's been really good.
Cool.
What is going on in that couch?
I have no
I have
idea.
no idea. I'm just going with the motion.
It's Josie's fun pants. You know what I mean? It's just-
I know.
That sounds so weird.
All right, I'm sorry.
Every time I
Pants
see
are
her
a thing.
pants.
You never heard of fun pants?
Lindsay.
Yeah, like the flare bottom pants.
I've heard flare bottom. I haven't heard of fun
Yeah,
pants. So
Also,
it just sounds really bad.
Fun pants sound like the pants that you can rip away.
Yes.
All right.
Like the
Basketball.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go home now.
You get back here.
yeah, you get into a lot of trouble now.
Whoa.
Stop breaking shit.
These guys chains on.
It's the punk rock Santa Claus sitting down.
Something else out of quarantine that was great is that I get to spend more time with my cat.
And Jason.
And Jason Mantzoukas stand up.
Cardboard cutout.
Yeah.
Cardboard cutout.
Call me
Dose.
Jason.
Not the actual person.
Not yet, anyway.
Not yet. I'm coming for him.
Jason, if you're
All
watching.
right, that just got creepy.
Come on
Coming for
now.
you.
Not in a stalkerish way, but
Yeah, because that sure as hell sounded like stalkerish.
You may be 20 years older, but I'm coming for you.
Ooh.
I got to find out that I like Star Wars.
He's always like assertive.
You didn't know that?
47.
He does now.
You should know that when you're born.
Yeah, Brady.
I got hitched to the lady that's behind the camera.
Woo woo.
Dude, just, oh my god.
Snaps.
What nerds.
Oh my god.
He got snaps.
Yeah, well, we'll get into that later. Anyway.
All right, let's go to Derek F. from South Dakota. The modern age has revolutionized the music industry. If you could reverse what it has done, i.e. MP3 or streaming, would you and why?
Ooh,
It's a really
Do you
good
have a
question.
reason?
ooh, I do have a
Yeah,
reason.
that was very
No.
Yeah.
Music is more accessible now than it ever has been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, obviously there's the trade-off of not seeing as much come in from streams, but it's so much more accessible than it ever was,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
You get to discover more artists now than you ever could have.
I agree yet disagree, honestly. I mean, because the old school days was just like you go to a show, you exchange CDs and tapes. It's more of like an intimate setting. They didn't have the internet, maybe phone calls. I know I'm showing my age.
I know, right? I'm actually right there with you.
That's
people are like,
right.
I heard
Yeah, I was actually just gonna say, back in my day, you young whippersnappers, we actually had CDs. You know what that is? It's a CD.
It would give you a reason to like drive out of state
Have
and
you
go to
ever
concert
tried
and
to
check out a bunch of new bands.
Yeah.
Everybody knows you
So
out, you know,
I
blah,
kind of
blah.
disagree. Like I like the accessibility, but there's something to me like with actually having a physical thing in your hand.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you really truly like an album, I'd get a vinyl, I'd get a CD just to have that physical thing, but more so, I just like the fact that everything's more
Guys,
accessible.
I wish the
I just bought a vinyl of an album I really like, and I don't even have a record player. I just needed to have that.
It's a collectible.
Hey,
It's a
That's cool
collectible.
though.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
I did the
also-
same
Nostalgia
thing
album.
with
I wish
two.
the
With
president was
two,
set with streaming.
I bought 2 copies of a vinyl that I really liked.
Yeah.
Because
And it was pretty. It was printed
I
super
mean,
bad.
think on the spectrum back in the day, like, you know, before the internet and stuff, you know, like when bands would go out on tour and they were selling the merch that would like
Yeah.
pretty much fund their food
Sure.
and gas and
Sure.
whatever.
Absolutely.
Nowadays, it's like, all right, you just get it for free online and like not buy their merch at the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like
It's harder for
I
bands,
wish
for
the
sure.
president was set with streaming just being a higher price. Like, you know, like if you have Spotify or Apple Music college, the college one, it's $5.
Yeah.
Like maybe if it was like say like 15, like, you know, like people would be seeing
Artists
a little
are
bit
getting more of a cut.
more money, and you know,
Sure.
like it would feel like less, like you'd have a less guilty feeling like streaming all your music.
I ain't got that.
Who's got a
money,
guilty
though.
feeling?
I do. I mean,
All right,
yeah,
okay.
like when I'm,
All right.
I feel
who
like
knows?
I'm
Maybe
doing-
with this pandemic and the
service.
reimagining of like local like live shows and whatnot, maybe it might change the whole marketability standpoint.
Maybe. I mean, I don't
You
know.
never know, yeah.
I don't know. But
I mean,
Here-
I do think it's a lot easier to make yourself and find your niche as an independent artist right now, whereas you had to have a contact with a big label, and oftentimes even if you did get signed with a label, they just shelf your album and it would never see the light of day. And now it's a lot easier to have your stuff out there and find your niche, even if it isn't readily accessible in your area. Yeah.
I feel like something that we don't have that you guys might have been able to experience was that like it's harder to make organic like real life connections like in person.
Right.
You know, all of our connections have to be made online, so it's a little like suspect. But you would get to meet these people that you never know who you're talking to though. Like honestly, like you never know if that person's actually a real person from that real label, like giving you real numbers. Like you never know, but like you know,
All the fans I grew up with, like, I mean,
I've met every fan. Yeah. when I
Yeah,
was
exactly.
touring.
Like, it's
Yeah.
just
every
not-
fan I've had, I either like saw them after I played a set. We had a
Right.
beer together.
Yep.
I shared CDs
Right.
or
Yeah.
gave a free
Yep.
shirt or whatever. Da da da.
Right.
I think the cool
It was
part.
different.
I think the cool part about like where we are now though is that we're like from the internet. You know, like how like everybody was like, oh, like you sound like you're from New Jersey, you sound like from New York. Like it's not really that anymore because everybody just lives on the internet essentially.
Right.
Yeah.
So like everybody
Was
takes
in the Matrix.
yeah. So everybody just like takes influence
There's a
from
glitch.
each other.
I mean,
So,
I feel
everything-
like there are still regional styles, though. I mean, if you listen
Absolutely,
to metal from France versus metal from the United States, they have
Sure.
2 totally different flavors.
Right.
I mean, they're going to be pulling in from influence from the same bands, but the regional impact on the music is still going
Well, I mean,
to
like
be
even speaking
present.
internationally, like you know, I'm speaking more within like the United States. You know, like everybody, like they're even though like people can sound different from everybody, like everybody doesn't sound the same, and like obviously like you're gonna take influence from where you're from, but you can bring in things from other places that in your time would be inaccessible. When like
Right.
there's all CDs, like
Sure.
you're not necessarily gonna get that underground band from California CD. Like now, that underground band from California, like you will hear them, like it is possible, and like that's what I mean by that. It's just
Sure.
like you can grab influence from a lot of different places.
Also on that
That's
note,
valid.
too. I mean, I mean, this is Q&A. I guess we can ask questions too. I mean, like, but like, you know, I'm sure you noticed, like, over the past like 10, 15, 20 years, rock and roll and metal and everything's been much more bigger in the UK than it has been. Like, I'm talking like live festival wise
Sure.
compared to like in the US. Why do you think that is? Do you know? I don't know.
Beats me. I can't.
Because I mean, like my friend, you know, he's in Dog Eat Dog. He always goes overseas and does really well over there. But like as opposed to like playing in the U.S.
I think honestly, and I've seen this time and time again, music just as a whole, there's just so much in the U.S. There's just such a saturation in the U.S. market that for a band to get that kind of little bit of sunlight, they have to go overseas
Yeah.
and establish themselves and then feel like they can come back.
Yeah,
right, exactly.
I get that.
It's
makes
happened
sense.
to a lot of
That
bands,
makes
so,
sense.
you know.
I feel like a lot of bands
Yeah.
first pop off overseas before
They have to.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
kind of
success
really
here,
set
yeah.
themselves apart, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
That makes sense.
All right, here's a getting to know you question. What artists did you grow up listening to?
Oh, girl, you do not want to
Ha.
know. Black Eyed Peas and Sean Paul. Sean Paul, come and give a do.
I'm gonna be super
All girls.
basic right now and say Justin Bieber.
I remember the day that Justin Bieber followed my sister on Twitter. It was 8:30 in the morning. I remember it was like because I thought my sister died that day.
Sunny out.
Screaming. I like wake up. I'm like, what is going on? I'm like 11 and she's like 12.
She's getting murdered.
And
Justin Bieber followed.
and then just running around my house saying Justin Bieber followed me on Twitter.
So again, I gotta go on my first concert ever. I was in first grade and I saw NSYNC at Giant Stadium.
That's sick. That's sick.
That's not a joke. Like I still have a ticket somewhere on my wall.
Oh my
And it was
God.
phenomenal concert. And
Phenomenal. That's
I have a
sick.
DVD of it. First
Your
concert ever.
punk cred just
I
kind
have
of
the
dropped a
Backstreet
little
Boys
bit. By the way.
CD. I
then-
have the Backstreet. I got that somewhere too.
And then my second one was like 10 years later seeing U2 and Muse at Giant Stadium as well. So
Wait a minute. What year was
the
that?
first night, 2009.
Oh, okay. Because did they do it again?
Yeah, they did 2 nights in a row. I just went to see Muse.
I went to
I'm gonna
that
get
one.
hate for that.
I went to that one. I had exclusive tickets
Good
because
band,
my
though.
dad.
No, they're really tight, man.
Oh, Muse is my favorite.
They're
My
good
dad
musicians, you know.
is
Don't be
Larry
ashamed of it.
Nolan, the drummer, the one who started the whole U2 band. He lives in Nyack, and my dad did his house, so we always get free tickets to U2 concerts. So
That's
we went to
pretty
that concert, and we had like front row tickets and exclusive behind like backstage like stuff.
Yeah, my oldest daughter wrote the manager of Black Eyed Peas actually. I do.
I grew up listening to Metallica, Slayer, and Tool from my dad, and
Yeah.
Genesis, The Police, and
Nice.
Red Hot Chili Peppers from my mom. So
Oh,
it's
jeez.
a wild mixture.
The song Brothers Cup.
What?
Brothers Cup.
No.
That's my favorite Red Hot Chili Peppers song.
So I grew up listening to, because I had an older sister, listening to REM and Van Halen, Def Leppard.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah. A lot of the '80s hair metal bands too.
Oh boy.
Uh
Pete growed out, boy.
I would pay good money for that to see.
You have literally never seen me play live. Then.
No.
No.
Your hair to
Oh,
look like an
no.
I would pay
Nope.
money.
I think we'd all pay money to see
Pay
that.
The longest it was ever, it was in quarantine, and I wear a hat like every day.
Oh,
I'm gonna
man.
ruin my punk rock cred 100%.
Oh, boy.
Oh no.
Do it.
I was really big into Hanson,
Yeah.
Bop, and then I was really into Ace of Base and Whitney Houston.
Those are all respectable choices, though.
You know, and
No matter how
and
unpumped that
then
is.
I got into REM, Nirvana, and Green Day.
All right.
Alright.
And then we did the whole skater punk thing, and then my favorite band in the world is Rancid.
There you go. Okay.
So, but
you saved yourself a little bit.
nah, my Bop was my shit back then. Second grade, I got a drum set, and I was like playing on this
Oh
shit.
my God.
It was like that.
Oh no.
Alright.
You do realize this is gonna live on the internet, right?
I don't
Just so you
care.
know.
I don't care.
So we're all aware.
There was a girlfriend of mine that loved it, you know. I mean, it was my thing.
Uh-huh.
So.
Seamless transition.
Uh-huh.
So now that we know what shows you guys have liked and have been to, how would you introduce going to shows to a new generation?
That's hard.
That's a
Where-
loaded
yeah.
question.
Wear comfortable shoes and prepare to get kicked.
Yeah.
Depends on what show you go to.
always
Yeah,
high
but
tops.
Always
To the shows that we go to.
Well,
Save
shows
a
that I
lot of
go to.
money for beer because it's expensive.
Too.
Depends on the show that you go to.
No, but like,
Oh.
it's like-
I still go to shows that have dollar paps.
You're
Okay.
Here's a good
You're
one.
supposed to
Bring
be-
earplugs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
tailgate.
Especially if it's an indoor, like an
Huh?
indoor venue.
God. Don't get tinnitus, please.
Yeah.
Being an audio engineer with tinnitus is not fun.
What?
Huh?
Yeah.
I'm an engineer too, I get it.
Yeah.
How would you introduce you? I would say get out of your house.
Yes.
Meet someone. You know.
Stop liking, commenting, sharing, and get off your house and go to a show when you finally can.
You know what I miss?
You like to dress up, let them see you, girl.
I miss fans and friends of bands doing street teams.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
all.
man.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, just going around. I mean, I know
Yep.
flyers are non-existent anymore,
I
but
know, he does flyers.
I know, but at least going to the bar, like leaving like a beer coaster with like your band name on it, that'd be cool. You know what I mean?
Stickers, band stickers.
Get out there and rub
I
bubbles
feel
with
like
the
you
people.
could
You don't do that.
and
That's what the internet is for.
Spotify.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know.
Do they scan the menus now?
You can do
Yeah.
You could. You should.
Yes.
But they don't. They don't.
First run
Here-
pages.
here's
This is
another
why
one.
we're the marketing department.
both. Worked one thing for 35 years, you know what I mean?
Right.
If not
If
longer.
it's your first show, you have to crowd surf.
You got it.
Unless it's at the meat locker, in which
Listen.
case you'll be eating the floor.
Dude, I was gonna go to the meat locker and then quarantine, and then quarantine
Oh,
happened,
God.
and I haven't
That is the shittiest venue.
First off,
I'm
if
sorry.
you go to the
I know we're
meat
going on
locker,
record
you're
right now, but it
immune
is
to
the shittiest
corona.
I was
venue.
just saying it's been brass.
What, the meat locker?
Yeah.
I refuse to play there just because I wouldn't carry my gear up and down.
Listen,
the
it's
fucking
called-
stairs.
Oh my god, that
Are you
was,
kidding me?
that was
nightmare.
terrible.
That is a separate conversation. It's definitely a separate
Build a
conversation.
fucking elevator.
If you've never been to the meat locker, go to the meat locker,
Yeah.
and then you can complain about the meat locker.
I'm not
Yeah.
so sure about going to a place called
I was.
It smells like a meat locker.
It doesn't smell like a meat locker, it smells like a sewer.
See, here's the thing.
Nah,
Meat
CBGB's
lockers
was
be
even
many
better.
Yeah, CB's was worse.
I know, we've had this conversation.
The meat locker's here, CB's is like here, but it's still classic. It's
Okay.
like,
That's
you know.
why, that's why we didn't test positive for COVID because
That's
we went
right.
to CBGB's.
Damn right. I probably have every disease because I've hung out at CB's at length.
That's funny.
Oh boy.
So, what is your current favorite band on the label right now?
Oh shit.
New Age
boy.
Fair.
Yeah,
Ah,
I think I was gonna say the same thing.
it's like
Go ahead.
so hard. Pirate Sidewalk.
I love them all.
there you go. I'm not going down that rabbit hole. No way. Nope.
New Age Fair is April,
Definitely.
I gotta say though.
Well, there you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's,
they are,
it's,
but they
it's
are.
not that I don't want to choose a favorite, it's just like, we have such a diverse label, like,
Yeah.
it depends, it really, like, depending on the mood, I have a different, I guess,
Right.
favorite if you
Different
want that.
favorite, yeah.
They're all fantastic.
I could honestly say every single artist that's on our in our catalog is like 100% in my category of music interest.
Yeah.
Me too.
But and the musicians and artists that I've actually worked with personally, love them, as well as the people that I haven't met in person but we've met online are awesome. So everybody on our catalog I think is genuinely down to earth people as well as awesome musicians.
Yeah.
So that's like my nom de plume with the label. So.
Shout out to all the bands on our
Yeah,
catalog.
they
Yeah.
you wouldn't be on the label if we didn't like
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Sure.
I pick a different
Thank you for
band every
speaking up for us.
I pick a band every different day, like in my car when I'm listening to, you know, so they're all
It's
awesome.
mood music, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not trying to cop out, but like, they're all awesome.
I mean, yeah.
See how I didn't answer that at all? I'm like,
He was like,
nope.
So, thinking past our current quarantine, if you could compile a dream tour lineup, who would be on it?
So like.
Oh boy, how many bands are we allowed?
It's just like
First
anything.
off.
I feel like
4.
three or four.
3 or 4?
Yeah, no more than 4.
But can you repeat the question?
so like
Dream
in
tour.
General,
Dream
like,
tour?
Dream tour.
People,
I feel like an interesting way to make it.
Anybody, I guess.
It's like
Anybody.
everybody pick
Not-
one
not-
person and
not-
see what
anybody?
happens.
Okay.
Anybody.
I don't know.
See what
So
you
we're
get.
all picking somebody?
Yeah.
Alright.
Like
Yeah.
one person and like that is our
This is
festival.
gonna be our tour.
So
Oh
we'll
my
have
Oh, is this a
private-
Manic tour? 'Cause-
Yeah, everybody pick somebody.
We should probably direct this now.
Oh
wait,
boy.
wait, but like,
Let's plug it in
and
the
not,
future.
wait, on the label or not on the label?
I think just
Either.
in
General.
general.
Okay, so
General.
everybody choose one.
Matt
Yeah.
Skiba.
Okay, one.
Solo project?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thrice.
I ain't
Okay.
gonna do that.
Okay.
I gotta go Green Day. Classic.
Yeah. Tight.
I go last.
Muse.
All right.
Oh Lord, I'm gonna say the Strokes.
Okay.
Okay.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I'm really fucking with Drain right now.
I would say Mac Miller because this is like my favorite person to ever
He's
live.
dead though.
Oh, is it a dead or alive situation?
I don't think so. I don't.
Nah.
We can't holograph him?
I don't know.
Can we all?
It's a holographic tour.
Yeah, there you go.
Alright, let's do it holographic.
Alright.
Yeah,
Tupac's been making music for years. Come on.
yeah.
He's
Still
not
alive.
dead.
Still
He's still on
alive.
Jamaican
He's still
Island.
alive, I can prove
He's
it.
gonna come out next month. Come on.
Alright, who's next?
It's Haley.
Haley's last.
Do it. Say
Say
Justin
Hanson.
Bieber.
Say Hanson.
I'm just waiting for a street cred just to go like even that far low.
Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg.
Actually,
Okay.
Snoop Dogg in like a rock setting makes a lot
Right?
of sense.
Think about it.
But
That was really awesome when I worked with Snoop Dogg at Bamboozle.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Dude, it's super awesome with that like Coheed and Cambria and Snoop Dogg
His song
playing.
was big time
Been on
Brett
rush.
Michaels was
Shoes
there.
fire.
Panic Disco was super
Well,
On
Well,
a,
that's
on a
just-
completely
Song with
unrelated
Big Time
note,
Rush,
I
you
saw
guys have
a
never
jazz band
had.
cover Candy
Boyfriend.
Hughes.
if
And it was
listen
sick.
to
I see that.
Snoop definitely fits in the rock and roll world 100%. Absolutely.
Yeah.
He
Absolutely.
does the
listen,
intro
huh?
and it's great.
I'm on
So
that.
that sounds like an awesome lineup. But what is your favorite Manic Cat event that you've been to?
Oh Lord. I haven't been to one yet.
Unfortunately,
We
I
went to the
haven't had a chance.
wrestling event.
Oh, that
Yeah,
was
it was-
awesome.
That was pre-COVID.
I think
I was
the
like,
wrestling
I don't know,
event is
last
most
When
of
people
those.
could actually like
Do
talk
stuff.
to each other and be in
That was
public.
awesome. That was a really cool experience, and I I've never been to a wrestling event before either, so it was a really
Yeah,
good.
I really
sort of
enjoyed the 5-year.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 5-year was a
5-year.
lot of fun. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd say the previous one, but not so much.
I have FOMO.
For
when you
personal
guys
reasons.
talk about it.
Were you supposed to be there too?
I know. I was still at school though.
Yeah, I'm like torn between a 50-50 between like 5-year and the wrestling event at Palisades because like that was like right when I started working for you guys.
Yeah.
So like I mean I've always done sound for you.
Yeah.
That was my first time working for you. You're finding out they're gonna hire me for the label for the 5-year.
Yeah.
Suicide Girls there, tons of bands all across the country coming
Yeah.
out.
Everyone kind of
A lot of awesome awards given out to like the Anchor and whatnot that night as well.
Right on.
But
kids,
then
too.
and then also again the Palisades thing, there was over 400.
There was 2,000-3,000 people there.
There's 4 floors, and every floor had like 1,000 people on it.
Yeah.
That was cool.
It was
I wasn't
great.
there, but
That
I
was
saw it.
Super cool. So yeah, 5-year and the. I'm gonna go for 2. I'm gonna give a
I
shit.
knocked over the merch table.
Did you?
Do you remember that?
Well, you told me someone else did
No,
that.
I didn't. I admitted to it fully.
Uh-huh.
Right down.
Yeah, we all have to fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks.
I must have been outside smoking a cigarette when that happened. I didn't fix
You
shit.
probably were. I think you were on a 5-year.
Yeah, I'm gonna go take my 15 now.
I had a right to take a break.
All of a sudden, I get a text. It's
I
like
think you were
the
working.
merch table's like.
You were up by the stage at that point.
I was on
I
the
was
stage.
gone for
Yeah.
5
Alright.
seconds. What happened, Haley? I don't know. I didn't see
That's
it.
the day I
Well, it wasn't me that knocked over the merch table because I
That-
wasn't
that-
there.
The wise
So.
words of
the day I got
Shaggy,
flu.
it was not me.
I got the flu at the end of the night.
Bullshit.
No, it was me. It was totally me.
I
Yeah.
couldn't have dinner with everybody because I had the flu that night.
You were at dinner. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was at dinner, but I didn't eat.
That's our
Oh,
Yes, you did.
I had like a wing or two.
Oh.
I mainly drank
You
whatever.
have a whole filet
Up top.
mignon, don't you?
Are we fighting about this?
Let's argue right now.
All right.
So a lot of you mentioned the wrestling event. If you were a wrestler, what would your entrance song be?
Oh.
That's a really.
That is a Brian
really
question
bad-
if I ever.
Oh
That was
man.
actually me.
Was it you?
Somebody else answer because they got to think about that one. Wow, that's tough.
Yeah, no, I have to think
Oh,
about that
no.
too.
Okay, I got this.
Holy moly.
Spit by Kitty.
Oh my god.
I'd probably come into the theme song to Never Ending Story. But covered by Newfound Glory.
Oh, okay. All right. If you're doing the original one, I don't know how
No.
intimidating that's gonna be.
Well, I would need someone to come in. I would need like a Falcor dragon to come in. I mean, I want to ride Falcor, you know what I mean? It's, you know, Trey in the background here somewhere, you know what I
Oh
mean?
my god.
Wait, so
Art
can
text.
it be a song that's already been used by a wrestler?
I don't know. I get.
Sure.
It's probably actually no, Ace of Spades by Motorhead.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's a good
Okay.
one.
Let's do
That
it.
Just because I'm a huge Triple
Trick
H
question.
fan.
Yeah.
Let me is God.
Let me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was
Maybe
asking.
the game by Disturbed. Flashback, throwback to when Disturbed was actually good. Sorry, am I allowed to say that on
I
live
do
stream?
realize we're on live stream. Like whatever.
They were good at one point.
Oh boy.
Ooh, all right.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's
That
move
was
right
the
on.
band that got me into metal, so
I apologize.
sorry.
Let's move right along.
He was really good with his cover of Sound of
Sound of
Silence.
Silence? Oh
Yes.
no.
He's a,
Oh no.
But he's a wonderful vocalist.
He is a wonderful vocalist.
Oh, I don't know if I have one.
I do have
I need
one.
something intimidating.
Wait, can I
Wait,
be
I-
basic and say I have the tiger?
Yes.
I want to change mine.
I
Think
got
by
a little
Linkin Park.
this.
Okay.
Think by Linkin Park.
Excuse me.
Okay.
Sorry.
Are you like trying to Google something right now?
I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do it. You got me. You almost got me there, girl. I'm gonna do
Oh.
Act Up by City Girls.
Jesus.
Real ass bitch, give a fuck about us.
Wow.
We are a punk label, guys.
Yeah, I know. You wouldn't think so. You really wouldn't.
I really can't say so comments on Sheep by Blood for Blood because then if people look at the lyrics and it'd be really
Yeah, that's probably not a good idea.
I already
So-
said it.
Going off of that question, what would your
Hold on,
wrestling
iPhone.
name be?
Oh, sorry
You
about
need to
that.
have a good wrestling name.
Joe Martin. That's my alias. Everything.
He had it ready. He had it
Everything.
Yeah, he was like on that.
Everything.
Did you see his shirt?
It's Mike Tyson.
I mean, it's like
With his tiger, this is actually like his tiger. It's the same tiger. It was in The Hangover as well.
Yeah, that same tiger.
The exact same.
Yeah, no, it's
The
the
exact
exact
same.
Exact same tiger.
No, they did it for.
You know, like they did a photo shoot and
Definitely
like.
not.
I can feel it calling in the air tonight, yeah.
Well played.
I can feel
Oh wait, no, I would come out to that for wrestling.
Too late.
No, it's
Question's
too
over.
late, but that would be
Question's over.
it. That would be it. And then just come sprinting out. Just sprinting out.
Sprint out and immediately drop kick someone.
Just like fly over the ropes,
Collins.
ready to go.
My wrestling name would be. I don't know. I was just trying to.
Yeah, mine would be Phil Collins.
Super intimidating.
Mine would be Mrs. Manzukis.
Oh my god. As Jenna gets shadow banned.
It's probably Grim North, and that's the only reason I say this because that's the character that I use in every wrestling game that I play. So.
All right.
I
Logical
don't know,
answer.
It came up generic.
I'm gonna be cliche and just say mine's tattooed on my knuckles and just be Sick Boy.
There you go.
My favorite song from Social Distortion, so that's it.
That works. Yeah, I don't think I have.
And my finisher would be.
Yeah, anytime I need a name for something, I use Joe Martin. He's just been like that for years now.
Zalias.
Here's another question from Derek F. Everyone has a bad juju song, as in a song that they were listening to when something bad or unfortunate happened. What's yours?
I was thinking Long and Hard Enough.
What's that song by Justin Timberlake that's like I Can't Stop the Feeling or whatever it's called?
Yeah.
I got hit by a bus right as I was listening to
You got hit by a
What?
bus? Rewind. Can you
What?
tell the story?
What is
Jeff.
your life? Why
You
is
got
it?
You got hit by a bus?
My car got hit
That
by a
explains
bus.
so much.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's so
I was like
brutal.
drinking my iced coffee, like can't stop the feeling, and then like boom, like.
Oh yeah, Mean Girls.
You're like-
I was about to say it's like the end of
You're
Mean
like
Girls.
Regina George.
That's who you
Lord have
Wow.
mercy.
That escalated quickly.
Yeah, I think my bad juju song is Jet Black New Year by Thursday.
Okay.
And
Why?
the reason being is because one of the lyrics in there is "This year will be better than last," and it never is. Ever.
Not this year.
Well, you
Not
can
Not
say
this
that
year in
in
2020.
I seem to remember us getting married this year.
That was the only good thing that happened this year. We haven't left our apartment in 4 months.
Lord.
I forget what the outside world feels like.
Mine is.
As Eddie now gets
I'm Yours
divorced.
by Jason Mraz.
Ooh.
I'm Yours by Jason Mraz because I was catfished in middle school by some guy. And he dedicated that song to me on YouTube.
Oh
Oof.
And,
That's awfully funny.
And I always find catfishing funny.
and
I
I
don't
was
know
like, he was like pretending to be like an emo boy, but he was always using those like Tumblr photos of emo boys, and I was always commenting out on it. And it was just like, yeah, so that was like a pretty traumatic time, and I cannot listen to that song anymore. It was very
Does anyone
embarrassing.
remember Tumblr?
Of course, I still have it, and I use it.
Considering it's still a website.
Is it still
Yeah, of
up?
course.
Yeah,
I'll send you
except
my
they
link right now.
pulled
Here's
porn
the
off
thing.
of it and everybody stopped using it.
Well, that's why.
Every
Yeah.
time
My
I
mouse had like the
Back
sparkles
then.
on it, like I
She's
had
getting
the
it for
music
you.
Oh,
when you clicked
Yeah, I
like
couldn't find it in the
Every
fridge, so
time I post a
Lynn's getting it for
selfie
you.
on Tumblr, I get so many messages like, "Hey, what's your Snapchat?" And I'm like, "I don't know who you are. Please don't talk to me." I don't what. I mean, I screenshot them and like tell
You're the
my
bad juju
friend.
song.
My
Oh,
friend
yeah,
did
no,
this
yeah.
amazing thing where she was every time some random guy would hit her up, she would be like, they'd be like, "Hey, what's up?" And she's like, "You know, I can't talk right now. My pet termite has the runs, and you know, I just don't know what to do right now." And they'd be like, "Ew, you're weird."
If you ever get an unsolicited penis picture, send another penis picture back.
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, you heard me.
Be like, mine's bigger.
Yeah. There you go. See?
It's a 12-inch kielbasa.
I got your hot Italian sausage right here.
Mushroom stamp.
All right.
So let's
moving on.
pivot.
Hold on, are we still on that question? I didn't answer. It's Here in Your Arms by Hello Goodbye.
Oh my god.
Hey, wait a minute.
In
I
your
know.
car.
Oh
Yeah, mine's Don't Follow by
That was my first girlfriend on a cruise.
Oh.
I was a freshman in high school. It was a long time ago.
Hey, at least you're on a cruise though.
It's still a fantastic song.
Since we're going all the way back into our personal archives, what activities did you do in high school?
Oh boy.
Marching
In
band.
general.
Yeah,
Like
marching band.
extracurricular activities. activities?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Since I work a government job, I plead the fifth.
In your mouth.
I was a cheerleader.
Four legs out.
I should have ever guessed.
Alright.
Showing some skin.
Is it too much thigh? There's so
Too
much
much thigh.
development.
Show some leg, big boy.
You know, you gotta start OnlyFans for that one,
that's
Kenny.
I wish.
Subscriptions.
That's big cash.
Feet pics,
Yeah.
$30 per toe.
Wait, what?
You did
I
that
thought
in
we saw
high
it in high
school.
school.
Toe? You said
Per toe.
$30 per toe.
Per toe.
You did that in high school?
Oh no, in
Sorry.
high school. In
That
high
was last Friday.
in high school, I would sing, and I went to performing arts camp, Frenchwoods, where Maroon 5 started their band, literally, because the cabins are maroon, and they were in Boys 5 cabin, and they actually visited one year and gave us a free concert.
Aw.
Pretty
That's
cool.
not pretty sick.
Yeah, it's a fucking bougie ass camp, and they were all sons of bitches.
I was in marching band.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
same.
too was
Yeet.
in marching bands.
Okay.
So now that we're on that,
What?
I played trumpet.
Hey!
I mean, I was a
Section leader.
drum major.
Let's go!
I was a drum major, so
I wanted to
Everybody
be,
knows.
I wanted to be drum
I
major, but
to.
because I was a trumpet player, they're like, ah,
Yeah.
Yeah, my
I
trumpet teacher was like, hell no, we need you. Like,
Exactly.
I was like, okay.
so now that we're already on this question, kind of, what are your musical backgrounds, if you have one?
I went to college for music industry. I could kind of play piano. You know, if I study it for like 15 minutes, I know the circle of fifths. But you gotta give me like 15, 20 minutes. I gotta remember it. So very limited
It
music.
doesn't the Lord of the Rings or like, you know, my precious.
Yeah.
You know.
Man, precious.
Stop, I'm so terrified of Gollum. Stop. When I was little, growing up, like my uncle was like obsessed with Lord of the Rings, so he would have like posters of it in his room, and like I would always cover my face to like walk through the room to like get to the other room because all the posters had Gollum on it, and he would do the voice to scare him. I'm like, nope, nope.
I got a guy that I can introduce
Well,
you to. Just
anyway, back to the question. What was it? Musical. What was the question?
What's your
Musical
musical
background.
background?
Musical background. All right.
I started as a bassist, then I picked up guitar, and then I started screaming in a couple of bands. So that's kind of about it.
I played trumpet since 4th grade, and I still play jazz and shit like that, and marching. I played a little bit of bass, like pretty small, and I just started my vocal journey. I did some background vocals like that.
Nice. You know that. It's cool.
Screaming.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
You
Yeah.
know, you know.
So, play guitar, little bass, little drums, little of everything.
I need
Kinda
to see you
consider-
play drums.
Jack of all
What's
trades.
that?
I need to see you play drums.
Again, it's pretty basic. It's like a 4/4 beat though.
I can do that. I can do
We're
that.
we're not doing anything major.
Pete's just ripping out blast beats.
There's a high probability you would be picking me up off the floor.
He was the last drummer for Chelsea Grin.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
but Chelsea Grin is just.
There you go. You can do it.
I can do that. Alright, I can do that. I can do that. Fair. But
My musical background just spans between 20 years, but it's just like bass, drums, guitar, vocals, a little bit of piano.
do vocals too sometimes.
Yeah, a little bit. As you can tell, a little bit of horse, you know. Yeah, I do a little bit of everything, you know, so.
I played trumpet for 8 years. Started a band, went to college for music business, dropped out of college to tour, and no.
Sweet.
Yeet. I'll drink to that.
Yeah, cheers, I'll drink to that, bro. Where's our country?
Oh, I'm currently in college.
Like that's
You are excused.
You're allowed. You're excused.
Josie, what college are you?
Going on Queen Group
Wait,
management.
funny
What are
enough,
you? Any
I played
before I got into
before-
music though, I did acting and modeling and
I used to sing in middle school.
Did you just say? Wait. You gotta. That has to be louder. That has to be on record. Did you just say I played the recorder in 3rd grade?
I did. Didn't
Atta
I?
girl.
Like,
Somebody whip out the bad recorder version of
Yes!
I played Cross Buns better than anybody.
you played like this.
Hold on, I don't think anybody played
You
cross
played my
buns.
Yes,
Well,
Cross Buns.
Yes, yes. Ode to Joy.
Yes,
Oh
yeah.
my god.
I
Pete,
can play
we're
one
covering
song
Hot
right
Cross
now.
Buns and Cult Classic.
No.
Confirmed.
Fourth grade,
Confirmed.
I played the drums, and they told me too many people play the drums, and they made me play trumpet.
I wanted to do drums, and they're like, oh, only 4 people. I'm like, okay.
Yo, we go to the first thing, and there's 2 of them. I was like, what the hell do you mean? Like, what? I could have done that. Like, I'm stuck with this damn trumpet now. Like,
It's better than carrying it around, carrying a full drum kit.
yeah, when it came to that, I was pretty happy.
I gave up drum lessons after my first lesson when I figured out I wasn't playing on an actual drum set. They wanted me to do a pad and do like
Like
paradiddles,
guitar
paradiddles, and all this stuff.
Paradiddles.
Like,
Paradiddles, right?
I want to bang on
Paradiddles.
drums.
Speaking of, if you're a vocalist, please help your drummer load in. Thank
Yes.
you.
PSA.
Hold on.
Don't
If you're a
be a
vocalist, if you're a vocalist, help load in general.
When I figured out I had to study music to be a drummer, I
Yes.
gave up and became a guitarist.
Yes, please don't be a D-bag. Make sure you're helping, even if you're a vocalist.
Bringing in your microphone is not loading in.
What do you mean? I'm ready to go.
But I carried my stand in. What happened?
Oh man, the inside joke. I love it. All right.
So
I
how
worked
did
so hard.
how did you get your start at the label, everyone?
Oh, boy.
I found an ad on Indeed and I was like, fuck
Say
yeah.
Saying that, yeah.
It's like that is like our catfish. That's what we use. That is our catfish.
Chance for the personal
Gee.
ads.
My wife was interviewing thieves when they first joined the label, and Pete hired my wife, who got me the job, and I've been here ever since.
Mhm.
Still.
We haven't killed each other yet.
We haven't killed each other yet.
Yes,
We've
pretty
gotten
awesome.
really close,
A few times, yes.
but we haven't killed each other.
No, they've been close. They've been close. They have
Especially when I was renaming all of the tracks in that
Yes.
before the record set.
Yes, you almost got.
I
killed.
almost got killed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I got this guy hired twice.
Twice. Yeah.
We're not going into.
We don't speak
Let's
about
not talk about that. We're not going into
the next person.
He was so good we had to hire him twice.
Attaboy.
That's a good answer.
Well, am I next?
I guess so.
All right.
Because they're all Indeed. So.
Wow.
Across the board.
I first met Pete
Sponsor us,
probably like
Indeed.com.
I first met Pete probably
Nice.
within the first year he started the label.
Yeah.
I was sound guy / living above a bar / venue that's notable. I'm not gonna mention the name.
Right.
At the time. You know,
A band that is no longer around.
anyways, but like he came in for music video and being the sound guy with the keys. So I'm like, yeah, I'll come in, do the lights and the sound, and like not shot me. Hey, I have a demo by the way. I have a demo. You know? And like,
Wait,
you know,
can you show us him giving you the demo again?
It's kind of like
That doesn't look very good.
I have a demo. Come up to my apartment real quick.
It was exactly like that.
And then they played
As
the
far
demo.
as I remember.
And then they played the demo for 7 minutes.
Anyways.
Walked downstairs.
One, two,
That was satisfying.
While he walked on my back.
I love you. I love you.
Let the lawsuits begin.
Long story short.
Shocked at
Long-
this.
Long story short, the band didn't work out, and Pete and I remained friends. And I continued to do sound for him on some certain events or whatever. And it was till the 5-year anniversary that he offered me a job on the label. I've been with him ever since.
Aw.
Cool.
Love
Cheers,
story
I'll drink
for
to
the
that.
ages.
So now that we know how you all are here, can you go into more detail about what your job consists of?
Who's starting?
I mean,
3 A&Rs here, so.
yeah, if one of you guys want to.
So we're in charge of going out, finding bands, and when we go through the demo submission process, if the band, gets passed through, it becomes one of our responsibilities to, I don't want to say claim, but, take responsibility of and then contact them. And then from there, we'll hop on a Skype call or a conference call, whatever it may be, talk to them, explain the details of the record deal, and then from there, if they like what they heard, we do a second call, and then from there, however many calls needs to be done, and then, we will execute a deal, and then from there, any creative things they need help with, we're there for their assistance.
Yeah, we pretty much see them from the time they sign to the time that they decide that, or we both decide that they are,
It's Kevin.
they want to, mutually part ways. So That's what A&R does.
Yeah, I mean, like, our goal in A&R, obviously aside from finding talent and signing talent, is also to help the talent grow as individuals and artists. So that's our goal. So whoever signs them, whether it be A&R, executive, or whoever else, we're just there to promote them, and I guess you could say rear them into the industry. You know what I mean, and get them to the next level. And any questions the artist has, or vice versa, we're just one big collective soul, into the whole process.
Cool.
I think a job that everyone participates in is reviewing the bands that put in their demos, and we all kind of reach a consensus about which people we all prefer, like as a collective. I'm Pete's assistant, so I do kind of whatever he needs help with, because I don't have a specific job, so I'll dabble in anything that he needs extra.
Grocery runs.
And that's,
Hey, I don't get coffee.
that's another
I've been making a list of independent retailers and researching about how to
Everything good
effectively use
with
social
Lisa?
media.
Yeah, we're good.
So,
That's a beautiful aspect of the label too. Is like it is not just a specific department that's working
Yeah.
with the artist. Everybody
We all
on the
need
entire
that.
staff.
Yeah.
We have meetings
Yeah.
every week. We're in constant contact with everybody on the label.
Mhm.
So anybody in any department will have feedback on every artist that's involved.
which I think is really a great way for them to
Yeah.
feel involved.
Sure.
Yeah.
Part of the process.
So
Yeah.
you can have like a full
In touch with the
company
lifeline.
on your side. You 100% full company on your side.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I guess I'm kind of a little bit the black sheep. I'm one of the audio engineers on the team. I'm in charge of making our already good sounding bands sound even better. And that's kind of about it. I just sit behind the board and make magic happen.
And it sounds awesome, man. By the way.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Well, that's all John DeClario. John Nada is a wizard, so.
He is. We'll just drop the name. Yeah,
Yeah.
appreciate it. I guess my turn, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
I guess I do a little bit of everything. I mean,
Well,
you know.
he's the president, the founder.
Yeah,
Well, no,
kind
it's
of-
us.
With-
Well, no.
It wouldn't happen without this beautiful face.
He's the big daddy.
And,
That's so
and his beautiful wife and his beautiful dog.
Yeah.
No agenda.
I would say yes.
No, I kind of do a little bit of everything wherever I need to do. I do. So, 16-hour days. It is what it is. But it has to get done. So.
I'm Jenna.
Just in case you forgot.
Yes.
No, no,
Yes.
no.
Hi, Jenna.
Hi. Let's see. What do I do? Well, I help. As the director, I kind of help manage the social media team. We do. We schedule posts. We come up with ideas. I'm also emotional support, which is good. Which is cool.
It's fair.
It's helpful.
I'm always there for him whenever he needs me to pick up the
Emotional
phone.
outbursts.
It happens a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, when his wife is tired of him.
Yeah, and it's like.
Crying constantly. I don't know.
I'm also there for a second opinion a lot of the time to kind of run things through. I've been here a while, so kind of know how things kind of go around with everything. So, I kind of have my foot again in a lot of different aspects, but I really enjoy my job here. So, and I'm not just saying that. So,
Because I'm sitting right here.
yeah.
And the eyes wander.
Yeah, exactly. Did you guys go yet?
That's why I wear sunglasses.
Yeah, I went.
Okay.
You guys all-
Okay. So I kind of work under Jenna too. I work for the marketing department. Weekly we come up with fun ideas to kind of help promote the label, different contests we can do to get people involved, to help the merch and stuff like that. So I kind of enjoy my job too, I guess. But
Oh.
I
But I'm kidding.
Uh-huh.
Okay, push it away. Let's arm wrestle.
Okay, I don't think you
I'm
did
so
good.
sorry. I would-
I got.
I mean, all jokes aside,
I try so hard and it would work.
I think my body would break before you.
all jokes aside, this label is literally run by
Can we
musicians
see it?
who also the employees are mostly in the music world.
Yeah.
So we are literally 100% geared towards the musicians and art and music. and we're not gonna F anybody over in that regard, you know.
Sure.
So,
We got your back.
yeah.
Got you.
We
One
touched
big,
on
one big happy
this.
family.
Aww, family.
Dysfunctional family.
We touched on this a little bit before, but what do bands need to do when sending in a demo?
Oh, Henny.
They should have a strong social media presence.
Yes.
Girl,
And
please.
if you don't
please.
have the followers, then your content should look really nice.
If you
Also,
have one song that hasn't yet been uploaded to SoundCloud and still has that lock logo, like no. Like if that's
Also
the only
band-
thing you have, it's just not enough to base off.
Also, please have more than one song.
Yes.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
cannot judge you based on
One
one
song,
song.
right.
It's impossible. It's just like we don't know who you are by
To make
one song.
everybody's life easier, I think send a hyperlink so like people that have Apple Music can like quickly go to your Apple
Mhm.
Music
Yeah.
link, that Spotify link, and then
Right.
I know
That's-
as well as myself and also Dan, who is another part of our team, can't even be here tonight. We've both expressed in the past that don't skimp on production. Like that's a big thing. I mean, like, yeah, sending us some live videos is cool, whatever. But you just send us a demo, make sure it's good production.
You can hear everything at least.
I want to hear the guitars and I want to give a full opinion of every aspect of that band and whatever. So make
So
sure.
are you
production
saying
is
that our iPhone recordings aren't good enough?
for demo submission, yeah, absolutely, 100%. Sharing your content on your Facebook or your friends, awesome, good. But giving a demo submission to a record label, maybe do it up the ante a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just a little bit sass on it. You know what I mean?
And please be around for longer than at least 6 months.
Yeah.
If you've been around for like 6 months or less, you are not ready for a label.
No, you're
So
right.
please do not submit.
Yeah.
Don't be
just-
active in the past 6 months as well. Don't submit.
That's
you have
another thing.
done
Please be
anything in
active
7
too.
months.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not going to get into logistics also what constitute in our contracts, but artists are required to play X amount of time in our contracts. So if you're not able to play out on a regular,
Yeah.
then don't even bother submitting.
Well,
it.
after
that-
COVID, when you
That,
can.
yeah.
Yeah,
That
well,
was for any
obviously,
label,
right,
you know? Like-
COVID aside, you know
Sure.
what I mean? You
Right.
know.
Right.
We do have a comment here that says iPhone recordings are extra punk though.
Well, wait, I have to agree with it. Absolutely.
I don't know. If you want to get punk, throw an SM57 in the middle of the room and that's
There you go.
Break some bottles and do some things in black and white, you're good to go. Alright?
The demo I'm on, we may or may not have recorded the vocals in a car by a prison.
I mean, that's pretty punk.
Yeah.
But you know,
Did you actually use a microphone or was it an iPhone? Okay.
You know,
That's allowed.
in regards to that comment, the last comment, though, I mean, like, if the quality is shoddy, but the production still looks great, if it's a good video done by somebody, then we'll want to take more look into that. You know what I mean? So.
You can't be lacking in all categories.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
Right.
Like I've said it a million times over and over again. Punk rock is not, rolling in the money. So I mean,
Right.
if you can't afford, to spend like $5,000 on an album or EP or whatever, cool. But at least put together your stuff as a portfolio in a proper manner.
Right.
There's
And-
so
and
many
try to
free
impress the
software.
label.
And don't
Yeah,
send it.
that's true.
Please don't send it via social media. We don't check that
Yeah.
in terms of
Yeah.
our social media team does not want to get bombarded with demo
Yeah.
submissions.
Because the quality
Please
is
go to our website and submit it properly.
There is
Or-
an actual link for you to do it. Please do your research before you do that type of
Yeah.
thing. Because if you're submitting it to our social media, then you obviously aren't really looking at our stuff.
But still, please send us videos.
I mean, listen, your audio.
You can't be too mean right now.
Audio quality can suck, but you at least have the tenure of playing out a lot,
Yeah.
and you have
Right.
a social media
Yeah.
status and whatever.
If we see
da, da, da.
that you have a
Cool.
really good live track record,
Sure.
then
You know what I mean?
we're more apt to look deeper.
And if you're close by, I'll come out and check your shows out.
Yeah.
When they start happening again.
Exactly.
Yes.
I'll wear a mask. Don't worry.
We talked a little bit before about streaming platforms. So I have another question from Derek F, and this one's a little deep. Do you think releasing an album in the modern age of music is counterproductive with streaming services being around? Most people don't take the time to listen to, let alone buy a full album.
That's a really good question.
So it
I
depends.
hate
It
you, so I
depends.
think
Absolutely.
It depends how you do it. Like I feel like as a consumer, when I am a consumer, in terms of the song, especially if I like it, to have my full-blown attention span, 2.5 minutes, you got me. So if you got 12 to 15 tracks, 2.5 minutes long, I can feel like I consumed an hour and a half in a positive way, and it's only been 25, 30 minutes, and like that creates an enjoyable experience for me. It's like, you know, time flies when you're having fun kind of the idea. So like there is ways to make it like a perfect balance. You know, obviously there's different ways that artists like find ways to cheat streaming, like, you know, Chris Brown releasing 70-song albums. Like that was his go at it. I don't think he succeeded, but not the point.
did that.
Like 2 or 3 times actually.
Yes.
I also do think it depends on what genre you're in. Like I know for a lot of hip hop right now, doing singles is a really good way to gain exposure pretty quickly. And if you do an album, like chances are people probably like one song of the album. So if you're constantly putting a lot of effort into a single, they're more apt to like it and.
And it's
stay
also builds
with
the
it.
anticipation as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
this
right
is
now,
true.
Foster people keep putting out singles and it's driving me crazy. So I can't wait for their album now that they keep doing that.
Yeah.
So I have an answer that might be a little bit different. And I know we're in quarantine right now and a lot of bands aren't really doing a whole lot. There's a lot of people that are making solo albums, so on and so forth. Bye. If you have enough music being churned out in order to put out a full-length album, by all means put out a full-length album.
Right.
But don't sit on 3 songs and hope that you come up with more, because then you're going to be waiting 5 years to put something out. Just put out an EP and then try to roll on top of that, and instead of basically tanking your socials and tanking your presence online. You know, keep yourself active. So if you only have a single, put out the single. If you have an EP, put out the EP. If you have enough to put out a full-length album, do it. People like full-length albums. People like singles. People like EPs. I love EPs.
Yeah, especially
You know,
in regard to your comment. You know, I mean, obviously, since nothing's really going on live, there's no reason for bands to not be super engaged on their social media platforms. You know, just keep going at it.
I think even aside from COVID and everything.
Switching over here because baby's in the corner. I don't like it.
Fair enough. Move on over. I think even regardless of COVID and everything, but you know, I know the industry kind of has skewed a lot towards singles and everything, you know, but I don't know, I'm a little bit old-fashioned. Like I like having an EP, I like having the full length. It gives the listener something else. You know, they might love that single, but they want more. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it gives opportunity. I think it's just a lot of people are starting to deviate away from it, and it needs to kind of come back full circle.
Right.
I think
And
that's-
please, for the love of God, if you have 5 good songs and you have 7 horrible songs, don't mash them all together.
No.
Don't just try to
Just
get a
put out
full-length
5 of
album.
an EP.
Do the 5
Just leave the
songs.
5 good songs
Right.
and shelf the bad ones. Maybe come back to them in a couple of years,
Right.
revamp them a little bit. Your listeners will like you a lot more.
You know, aside from,
True.
aside from quality music, which is obviously like, you know,
What about
foremost
you as a
important.
consumer?
It's about both, really.
I
You know, but like you need a tight like marketing promotion thing to like release the music. You know, like don't announce it 3 months before it comes out because people are gonna forget. Like there's that sweet spot where you have to find for your audience what their attention span is.
Yeah.
You find that spot and then you announce then, and you know you do a single with the video, make sure the video is good, and then people are going to be excited to hear all the things that you have to offer. If it's boring, they're not gonna care. But if you excite them, they'll want to listen to all 10, 5, EP, like whatever it is. Like they'll want to listen to everything if you excite them.
I mean, it's basically the same thing like with Slipknot. It's about that thing for all those years. Then Corey went off and did his own thing with Stone Sour, and you know, and like it's still a huge hit.
Yeah.
So you gotta like rope them in a little bit, get them in tight.
Yeah, you gotta make them want
Then,
it.
then maybe when you feel more comfortable, then you can put out what you really, really want to do. You know what I mean? Is that bad to say? I don't know, but.
We do have some comments agreeing with you. If you promote too early, people will forget without a doubt.
Yeah, for sure.
It's all strategy in terms of your social media. I mean,
Week and a half is
you
a
have to
sweet
really
spot
see
that
You
I've
guys
seen
would call in
Yeah.
and
Before.
you know what I mean?
yeah, we can have
Wait,
is
we
really good.
can have for what?
before an album.
Yeah.
You tease
It's a gamble.
for what
You
I
do a
see.
tease
But-
and then
but
you
tease-
announce and
Tease
then
on that week and a half date,
Right.
you drop a song with the video right then and there, week and a half, and then for that week and a half, like upcoming to the album, you can post every day and be annoying about it, but it's not long enough for people to think like, holy shit, like
Yeah, you shouldn't
I'm
be doing it like
annoyed.
30 days out. It's
So-
just,
Like
It's
I'm
like what we
annoyed
do
by
with-
this. So
with
week and a
ours.
half to
Right.
10, 15 days, you can post it every day and you can shove it down people's throat, but it will be to the point that it hasn't been long enough that you think in your mind, like, wow, like this person has really been annoying this, like, with this release.
Right.
It's enough period that you've seen it enough that you know, like, oh, okay, like that's coming out the 15th, like that is definitely coming out tomorrow. But it's not to the point where you're like, okay, like I'm intentionally gonna go out of my way to not listen to this because they've been that annoying with this.
Yeah.
It's that sweet spot. But obviously it's gonna be different for certain fan bases.
Yeah.
Sure.
Some fan bases are more
It's like if you-
invested.
if
That
you-
doesn't mean, sorry.
No,
That
ladies
doesn't
first.
mean, thank you. That doesn't mean that once you have a song and it's ready, you should put it out exactly a week and a half after. You should be doing at least 6 to 8 weeks of preparation before that, pitching it to playlists, pitching it to blogs, pitching
Yeah.
it
Right.
to all
Right.
these different places.
The marketing is
Unless
PR.
you're-
all
yeah.
that.
Yeah, and
Sure.
if you have any questions or concerns, not concerns, if you're any, like want to look into what we do on our label, just go on our website on Facebook and see our catalogs when we promote a new album or a new EP. We're giving a little bit of a teaser, not the full song, you know, maybe a little teaser of the video, a little teaser of the song, and approach it that way. You know what I mean?
A good strategy that I've seen on a couple of bands that I like, for a good example, like the Gorillaz do this a lot of the time, is that they like start posting like very cryptic things like months out before they start to announce that they're about to do something, and you're like, oh my god, I haven't heard from them in a while, and then you're like, okay, wait, they don't announce anything, but they just like post like a random like picture or something like that, and you're like, oh, and it kind of keeps you intrigued, and then when they finally announce it, it's like, oh, the excitement is still new. So it's not like you're getting the information too early. When you get the be cryptic, and then it's like how we always kind of say like good things coming up soon, like in a lot of our asset videos and stuff like that, and then we don't announce something until like a week and a half before it actually comes out.
I'm doing the same exact thing right now with the project mine that was like from 5 years ago. You know, I mean, the band's not together, but you know, I'm still like, oh, good things to come.
No,
Yeah.
Private show or whatever, you know.
Please, it's just the posts that say big things coming soon. Please word it differently.
Yeah,
I've seen too
that's
many.
the generic
Yeah,
form, but
very
like
generic.
definitely, you know,
Yeah.
get
Yeah,
the thesaurus
absolutely,
out
but-
and see what you can do.
That post is also usually reserved for like
Oh,
if you're on Instagram, the story. Usually don't like have that in your feed. You know, it depends how you're gonna do it. Depends, but usually reserved for the story. Depends if like there is like a picture to go with it. If you're just gonna post like a picture of a tree saying big, like no, like that don't work. Like,
Think of it
Big
as like
Joshua
a
tree coming.
Think of it as like your teaser trailer, and then you announce the trailer.
Like, if you're in the studio, you get a picture of you guys in the studio and be like, we cooking up some heat, you know?
that works.
We cooking
yeah.
that shit
Or
up.
even
like-
videos. I love videos of artists in the studio.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a
Behind the
little
scenes.
10,
Like-
15 second like snippets.
Yeah, just like a
Like
snippet
full
of the
boost
guitars
session, you know,
Yeah.
like
You're like, I
tracking
wonder
just
what's
a little
happening.
bit of guitar,
Yeah, yeah.
and you don't know what the context is in the song because it's not finished.
Right.
But it's still something to keep your audience engaged and
Yeah,
right.
tease that you are
Yeah.
coming
a
out. with
little
something.
tidbit of a riff. You're like, what was that you just played?
You want them to
Yeah,
ask,
yeah.
oh, what is happening? You know, that kind of thing.
And if you're gonna do that, and you like, if the song's finished and you're gonna post something like that, post the part of the song that's gonna get people like talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
No,
like
don't
that.
post like.
Don't like how iTunes used to do with like the 15 minutes of like the middle of the song.
Yeah.
So you go
Don't
on it.
don't post 15 seconds of like
The
Balance.
intro.
the first verse or something like that. Like post like
Guys,
Chorus.
just post 15 seconds
Or
of
the-
harsh noise.
Or
That's
just
all
like
you need to do.
Just loud screaming.
No.
well no like
Pick the most catchy hook. you
exactly.
have.
So
right.
for me like a
Something
metal
to stick in your head. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
if you're a metal band, post 15
50
seconds of
harsh
that
noise.
that build up to the breakdown and the
Yeah.
first couple seconds of the breakdown. Don't post the first verse or the first chorus.
Like if you hear Ruby So Ho on a loop, you know you're gonna want to hear that song over and over again. So it's gonna be catchy. It's gonna stick in someone's
All right. I
head.
think we're,
Use the part that makes you want to punch
all
a
right.
hole
I
through
think
it.
we've driven that.
Yeah.
down.
Go back there.
I think we're
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the next question
Yeah.
or a
I think we're-
comment or
I think
something.
we're-
We do have an agreement that says give them like a breakdown or a sick riff. Don't give them an interlude.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I don't know who said that, but you rule.
You're a smart person.
Yeah.
So we were just talking about being in the studio. So going off of that, who would be your ideal person to work with in the industry, like an artist or a producer, etc.?
Wow.
That's a hard one.
That is a
Oh
hard one.
jeez, you know, I don't know.
Oh jeez.
Oh, cheese Rick. I don't know.
Mine is Rick Rubin. I don't know, because you can do anything you want. You know, if you want to make a country song, you can do that. You want to make a metal song, you can do that. If you want to make a hip hop song, you can do that. So whatever you want to do, you can do it with Rick Rubin. So that sounds like a fun time.
Mine is DNXPJ. Hi, PJ.
Jeez.
I'm not gonna name drop anybody, but like personally, I've actually been pretty blessed with who I work with in this career. So I'm gonna keep trucking with where I'm going. So I'm content.
I'm shameless. I'll name drop. I would definitely, I've been very, very fortunate. We've been working with John, John DeClario for quite a while now, and he's just unreal, fantastic, and just, hardworking, really believes in, the artists that we have signed, and super, super lucky, and, not saying this because he's probably watching, but, he's just phenomenal.
Hi, John.
Yeah, I would also second working with John Clario. I'd love to work with John Clario. I don't know if I can mention the side hustle. Am I allowed to mention the side hustle?
If you want to.
Yeah, I also intern over at Backroom Studios, and I really love working with Kevin Introsian, from the Dillinger Escape Plan. He's a really great guy, and all the guys at Backroom are great, so I want to continue working with them.
Not to cut you off, that's the name that I wasn't going to drop. But Kevin and John Mason are good friends of mine. I'm done cutting it off with them right now. So.
Oh, cool.
Good choice. Yeah. Awesome studio. Awesome
Kevin's
people.
a great guy,
Yeah.
and right now he's learning how to drive race cars down in South Carolina. So.
Shooting guys off everywhere. Yeah.
Nice.
Love that guy.
Yeah, awesome.
Anybody else?
Should I do Kenny Beats?
And then-
Jesus.
Don't overthink shit, which is like the best tagline in music right now. Don't overthink shit, dots.
Oh my lord.
So outside of the music industry, or maybe still inside the music industry, who's the most famous person you've ever met?
Oh, we get to name drop now. Cool.
Yeah, now you get to name drop.
One time when the Super Bowl was in New York City, I was like walking around and they had like the whole like exhibit in Times Square. Look up LL Cool J right next to me, and that was pretty tight. He had like the hat on and everything. It was like true.
Well, I met Ingrid Michaelson,
This one.
Larry Mullen, like I said. I used to date Rosie O'Donnell's son.
What? Hold on, what?
Oh wait, I met
I
Whoopi
love how
Goldberg
nonchalant
in
she
Zoomies.
was on
I
that
met
one.
Whoopi Goldberg in Zoomies. That was tight.
You can't just put that in there and just not expect us to
Yeah, she
comment on
slide
it.
that
just
into the
was
radio.
like-
Slide it in there.
Totally slid that in.
No, scrap LL Cool J. I guess he's alright, but I was in
Oh,
the garden.
oh, okay,
I really hope
I have a question for Jenna though.
I'm fairly certain
Did he
he's
give you
not.
a swoosh?
Huh?
The little things that she had to show.
Oh my god. I mean, she was so much fun.
I'm sure.
She was so much fun. So she lived in Nyack for a while, and one day we went on her boat, and she would do this thing where she would, I don't know how she was able to do it. She would flip the boat in a certain way, and then make a sound that made it sound like a fish was coming onto the boat, and she was like, "Oh my god!" and I would start screaming. So that was fun.
How old were you?
Okay, so this was like elementary school into middle school.
Okay.
Boyfriend from elementary school into
You think I chose? He went. This is my girlfriend, and I was like, cool. And then that kind of like that relationship sort of like was like on and off, and then it went back into middle school.
I hope he's watching.
And then we went to the Zootopia Z100 thing,
Yeah.
and we went with Rosie. So we went backstage, and we met some of the Black Eyed Peas, and he pointed to Taboo pointed at us in the audience, which was pretty cool. We went by Justin McCartney's dressing room, which was my favorite thing in the whole world. And I did meet him one time because he was in Drink Street, which was like, remember that?
I have that album.
Down,
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Down on Drink Street, let me take you by the hand.
All right.
Anyway, so that's that.
When I was really young, I went to the Garden State Plaza with my mom and my sister. We walk into Zoomies. All of a sudden, it's Whoopi Goldberg, and apparently
Okay.
her and her grandchildren they would go into each store and she would
I
give them.
was there. I was doing managing a Hot Topic. She gave me my store before it was Zoomies.
And she would give them like 15 minutes and they would buy whatever
paid cash, like
whatever they could get. They would give them 50 minutes and like these kids, like, you know, unfortunately for me, I didn't get shit that day because like everything was gone. But you know, they just brew all these things, that anything that they could hold in their hand, and then she just bought it all. And there was nothing left in Zoomies that day.
Well, that like lots of hundreds.
Yeah, she's paying.
Cash. No credit card.
Yeah.
My DM was there.
Whoopi Goldberg's grandkids are punk rock as fuck.
Yeah.
I guess so. I mean that was like in the time where like if you went to the mall, like the only store worth going to was Zoomies or what's the Hot Topic, yeah.
Spencer's.
Or Spencer's or PacSun, that's the other one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
Also, Penn Badgley. My dad did work on.
Oh my God! All right, all right.
Yeah, I know
Enough.
every famous
Enough,
person
Jenna,
ever.
Enough. We know you know people. All right.
I was in Portland, Maine. It was Black Friday, and I was at the mall with my parents and my sister. And on our way out of the mall, my dad goes, "Hey, Mayor Giuliani."
Oh, wow. All right.
So I met him.
Okay.
There you go.
All right.
Yeah, no, I got nothing.
Oh,
Nah, I've lived the boring life.
It's a toss-up between Frank Iero and I can't remember his last name, but I can't remember his name at all. But the dude that played Patrick Wilson, I think the guy's name is, the guy that played Ed in The Conjuring,
Oh,
the Conjuring series.
Sure.
Both of them shopped at a specific store that I used to work at, and I'm not going to name the store because it'd be weird. But I've met Frank on multiple occasions, and he is the sweetest dude. Comes in with his wife and his kid.
Cool.
And his kid comes in dinosaur costume. But Patrick Wilson, that's the guy's name. Came in, bought something for his son for music-based stuff.
So I think the greatest thing is I met Marky Ramone at a show.
Wow.
It was he was kind of hosting for whatever reason. This was a number of years back, and God, it was like so my touring days and everything. And I'll never forget. He comes up after we play our set. He's like, "For what you do a great damn job." And he walks away. And I was like, "All right, I'll take it. That was cool. I can die happy now."
You said it again, so I got a camera.
Yeah, right. This is pre like iPhone. Like that's how long ago I'm talking. So I was like, "Wait a minute. Can you just rewind that again?" No. Let me get my digital camera.
The biggest thing that ever really happened to me was I've been audio engineering for 15 years. I did sound for Cindy Lauper for 2 years from the house, as well as I did a special event for the Boys and Girls Club in New York. And not only got to work with the entire cast from Sex and the City, but I actually got to slow dance when I had a cornucopia.
Oh, okay. All right.
Jeff wins.
Yeah, hands down.
I met William Shatner.
Oh,
Okay,
Jesus!
all right, Jenna. We get it. All right,
Hey,
next
you're cut
question.
off from the crowd.
Yeah, really, you're cut off.
Wait, I have one more. I met Hyde from that Sunday show.
Oh, isn't he?
Yeah, because he went to the restaurant I was working at.
Oh, wait, I do have one more. You remember when Warped Tour did like the TEI like classes? If anybody remembers that, they had like every musician would do like a different class. So I took a class with Matty Mullins from Memphis Mayfire, and I figured, oh, there's gonna be like 10, 15 people there. I was the only one there, and I had the biggest panic attack because
no.
I have his lyrics tattooed on my arm.
I mean, if we're talking Warped Tour, then I've met a lot of people like, Newfound Glory. I've met like the dude from Simple Plan. I've met like
but within the past couple of years, they've done like the TEI classes when Warped Tour was still a thing. And they
Rip.
Every musician, like certain musicians, would have classes on different things, and Maddie's was on like building your band and stuff.
Ripping and the tearing.
And it was a one-on-one class with them, and I almost died.
Let's get F's in the chat for Warped Tour.
F's, please.
Well, there is a question in the chat from It's Kiwi Cult, and they ask,
Hey!
Hey, Kev.
in your experience, what are some of the biggest obstacles rock music faces when trying to grow in popularity?
I think it's like when you try to be too old school, you have to really kind of integrate some of the newer sounds if you want to get newer audiences in.
I think it's timing. Honestly, like it goes in waves. So I really think as cliche as it sounds, it's like timing is everything. Like it goes through peaks and valleys, and I remember like back in the day when I never thought like that boy band phase was going to end, like the end of like the right before the early 2000s. I was like, when in God's name is NSYNC and Backstreet going to die? Like, when is this going to go away?
Don't you dare talk bad about NSYNC.
I will.
It's not over.
It's not over.
I know. Well,
Oh,
it
come back
definitely hit
harder
a
than
lull.
Yeah.
So, and then it was the emo phase where it was like boys with tattoos that were like emo, which was basically, you
Now I'm
know,
gonna have to go check them out.
the next pop punk.
They're like
Yeah,
the
it's
biggest boy
timing.
band in rap.
Yeah. I mean, it's timing and it's also just seeing
That's such a
what.
good question for
They
that.
are.
I have like so many answers for that.
But seeing what's like popular right now and how you can ride that wave with it, kind of in that same way. Again, it is the timing season.
Sure.
See what's popular, see how you can kind of skew yourself towards that, and then you get noticed.
Or away from
Why do you?
There's
Why do you think?
also, I mean, there's
why do you
also,
think Dream
I
Sheet did
think
terrible?
from in
Because they came at the very
Well,
end of the
well,
era.
no, they did terrible because they were like 12 and their parents didn't let them do it anymore.
But they were also at the tail end of NSYNC,
Have you
No.
guys?
and like that big resurgence of that big.
Yeah.
Don't ever
From the
click in
boy
front of
bands.
me.
You mean the Naked Brothers
The
band?
ants.
Who?
Naked Brothers band.
So, like,
Wait,
from an audio
wait, I was about to
perspective,
say that.
Alright, let's kind of.
from an audio perspective, though,
Yeah,
too,
go ahead.
Naked Brothers.
I know a lot of, or not a lot of bands, but some bands really want to go for that old school, not grungy, but like dirty, bad microphone,
Yeah.
like really lo-fi quality,
Shot
and
on a
that
potato.
doesn't really. Some people are really into it. A lot of people are really into it, but then there's also another huge part of the punk fan base that gets alienated
Yeah.
because they aren't really into that lo-fi. They want something a little bit more crisp. So if you could find a happy medium that you are hitting that old school, but you are also bringing in that new school sound, you have to find a happy balance. But if you do, you know, I think you can really go far.
See who your
Also,
audience is.
in regards to that too, like if a band has a specific sound, they have a decent fan base as is, think of other ways to maybe like graduate out of your fan base or like bring in new people in, you know what I mean?
Right.
Always be adaptable while sticking true to your colors, you know what I mean?
We have a comment here that says, I definitely agree. The grunge punk sound aesthetic doesn't always resonate with everyone, I think.
Right.
Very true.
Yeah, very true. For sure.
Sometimes you gotta go a little mainstream, add a little
Yeah.
pop to it.
Again,
you know what I
it
mean?
depends on who your kind of your target audience
Right.
is.
Right, yeah.
You could even throw like a single out there that's completely different what your sound
Yeah,
is,
I mean-
just to get noticed from some other genre. You know?
I know a lot of grind bands. I record a lot of grind bands, and they go for that kind of really crusty sound, and that's great for what they are
What they do.
targeting.
Right.
But it's very inaccessible to a lot of other people. I mean,
It's not mainstream.
if I were to bring you guys, a grind band, you'd be like, what am I listening to?
Right, right.
But somebody who's into music
That's
like
it.
that will
Yeah,
say,
partner.
this is awesome.
Yeah.
So it's it's really a balance that you have to strike.
Right. All I hear is.
Yeah.
Like, we can make cadaver. Don't touch my
Aren't they
rice.
from New Jersey?
Yeah, also, like, especially for something like that, people might have, like, one band that is their fix for grindcore. They don't want to do anything deeper than, like, one band or one, like, hardcore band, but they're primarily a metalcore kind of person. It's like,
I mean, also, not to shit on any genre, but like, I mean, like, I love metal, don't get me wrong, but if I can't understand what the fuck you're saying, man, that's like my biggest pet peeve.
I'm right there with you.
I mean, like, yes, I get into the music, yeah, I get it, but
To
like,
each their own.
It's like, yeah, whatever.
but I want to, if there's a message to be heard, you know what I mean? Whether it's like, you're angry at something, or you're sad about something, or whatever political, I don't care, I want to hear what your message is.
Right.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Wicked the Cadaver. I can't understand a word they're saying.
Shredded.
Exactly. I don't know what you're saying, but I get into it when I'm pissed off. Whatever.
So have any of you tuned into any virtual concerts since coronavirus?
I did a Minecraft one with, like,
yeah.
idols.
Wait,
and
the
non-flips.
American football one?
I have a lot of them.
There was a lot of.
I tuned into a Punk Hub Live.
I think the only one that I saw, sorry, Punk Club Live, Flogging Molly.
There you
I think
go.
was the only one that I
I saw Dropkick Murphys.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Idea, like do a VR like concert.
Not VR, but it's live stream.
Live stream, yeah, YouTube
Sick.
or Twitch or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
There have been some pretty good
What about 3D glasses?
pretty good Punk Up Live sets that
That's right.
have come over the past. And I'm not saying that because we're on Punk Up Live right now. Not a sponsor.
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug.
Obviously, you guys don't need
Shame.
gold to come to Punk Up Live because you're on.
Yeah, I mean, because if you love
Yeah, exactly.
All right, just
You know about
shush.
Punk Up because you're.
Shush.
you love Punk Up
Shush.
So there is
Um,
some merch on the table. How many pieces of Manic Cat merch do you have in your closet? Let's see who has the most.
I think I would win.
I think Pete wins.
I think I definitely
Alright,
win.
you know what?
He
He
doesn't
don't count. Okay.
I won't count.
So let's see. 1,
What's the question?
3.
How much merch do you own?
Everybody put fingers
Manic Cat
on how many you got.
2. I would have more, but
All right,
You
shut
missing a
up.
hat, you short a hat.
I have
you
4
short a hat.
t-shirts and a pair of sunglasses. So 5 things.
I have 10.
Do you really?
Yes.
That's a lot of shit.
I've been here a while.
Yeah, you have.
Gentlemen.
I've been here like 4 or 5 years and I only have 2
Close
pieces.
the match by the time.
Because you don't ask for shit.
I ask all of the time. I ask every time I see you.
Which is how many times I can count on like a few fingers.
Every time I'm at the studio,
Oh, yeah.
fixing your
I'm
computer.
Yeah, well, every time I'm at the studio, I am not giving you merch.
I'm gonna raid your closet tonight, by the way. So.
Go for it.
So now that you are talking about all of this stuff, what are you wearing? No, that's a bad question. What pants?
What am I wearing?
Okay, where? It's a little thin and
Classic pair of Adidas.
Yeah.
Dropped in barrel form.
I can do it. I can do it if you want to hear. I can go
Stand
full
up.
breakdown.
Yeah,
What do
maybe
you
we won't
wear?
ask that one. That one might not be appropriate.
What bands on?
Chefs,
What bands on or off the label are you jamming to right now?
Girl.
Oh.
Wait, we should
You know what
go
I got back
circle.
into recently? Cage the Elephant.
Okay, alright,
Yeah.
cool.
Their new
Yeah.
album is
I've
really
been back into
great.
them again, you know.
Instagram
So I don't know
He
why. I
recently
just
got-
popped in my head one day and they've been down my
Recently
Spotify
got
for the past 2
divorced,
weeks.
so all the songs are Sabbath. I like them a lot.
Yeah.
On the label, I give everybody a listen, but New Age Fair in particular. Off the label, Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion.
Also,
Oh boy.
That's so cool.
well, I did the Cage the Elephant, but also on the label, When Thieves Were About new album.
Oh yes, they just dropped.
We're literally almost there. That album, I did my show and Alfred gave me a CD. It's been in my car. That show has been awesome.
That's true. I've been
Super sick album.
I've been listening to Hall Notes.
Yeah. With or without the mustache.
With.
Alright.
You're out of touch.
On the label, I'm a big fan of the Pirate Sidewalk song T. I think it's a really
Because
good
that's
song.
the T.
It's the T. Off the label, I've been on a Jeff Buckley kick.
Oh, Jeff Buckley's sick.
Right? Their whole Grace album was
Oh.
ridiculous.
So good.
Eternal Life, that
So
song
good.
slaps. Oh my god. But I've been big into Drain and Gulch. They both have new music and I am not putting them down.
I've been listening to a lot of really weird shit. I've been listening to
My
Holy
man.
Fawn and Swallow the Sun recently.
I don't know either.
I've been listening to.
Share those links in the group because I want to check
Yeah,
them
do
out.
group
It's
Yeah,
totally
honestly.
doom metal and you're totally not going to be able to understand
I don't
any of
give
it.
a shit. Look at me, they give a crap, man.
So I think I've been listening to. I got back into recently Newfound Glory. Just got back to the entire catalog. Like re-downloaded every single record from the beginning. I love Jordan. I know you do. You have a fanboy crush for Jordan. I know.
Well, more chat than Jordan.
Okay, fine. Saw them actually right before COVID down at Pony, and it was amazing. That was a phenomenal show back in November. Yeah. Okay. You're freaking me out. You're like whispering over there.
Whispering sweet nothings about how big the band is.
Yeah. How tight Newfound Glory is.
I've been watching them since I was like 16 years old.
And then on the label. On the label, it has to be like New Age Affair. I can listen to that record front to back. They're great. So.
Do you
Oh, me? Oh, that's
Ooh.
tough. On the label, it's probably like everybody else said, New Age Affairs. I mean, I've been jamming that recently. Off the label, probably Wage War's recent album Pressure. Shout out Seth, how you doing?
That name right up. Put that name right back.
Not name dropping or anything. Yeah, that's an album that I can listen from front to back. I've been doing it for the past year. And it's fantastic. So. Okay.
So one last question before we wrap up our live Q&A session. What thing are you most looking forward to when our COVID experience is over?
Oh man.
Band's touring.
Hopefully not being 50.
I posted in the Punk Up Live the other day, like overpriced beers at concerts.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what I missed
Looking
that.
forward to getting some more
Well,
vitamin D.
Speaking of,
Party foul at the end.
Being disappointed by the
Butterfingers.
outside world, I miss it so much.
Vitamin D.
What a dick.
The sun. Yeah,
That's
the
vitamin
sun.
D.
That's
I
vitamin
can
Yeah,
say
that's, I'm
vitamin D.
agreeing with you. Yeah, the
I'm,
sun is a key.
I am quite pale. This is tan for me.
We're all in the greater tri-state area, so we actually stayed inside for the past what month? How long?
To be fair, I've been staying inside long before COVID hit.
Yeah.
February or March? I thought it was March.
It was
March,
March. It was
yeah,
right
totally
before
March.
my birthday. I remember.
Yeah, it was March. Yeah, it was like mid-March, early March, right?
Yeah.
Actually, I kind of hope this whole quarantine thing keeps going because,
No.
like,
No.
No, we don't. I
no.
can't even say
My
it's a
whole
joke.
life, my
No.
whole life,
Why
I
would
had looked
you
for this
say that?
opportunity to stay inside and do nothing and like have an excuse for it.
exactly. I
And
don't
now
feel
it
bad
is-
about staying inside.
Now
I'm
it
not
has
seeing
came.
it.
Now it has came, and I am so upset with myself for ever having that thought because
Yeah.
it is absolutely terrible.
It's like when
It's
you're like,
terrible.
man, I wish I was sick so I could stay home from school, and then you're like vomiting in the toilet all day, and you're like, wow, I don't know why I did this to myself.
No, when you fake staying home
That's how
sick,
it's
and then like your
nice
parents
to
go to work, and then you're sitting there and you're like, oh, like I am so bored right now. Like
It's like, I wonder what my friends are doing.
Yeah, now you're having the FOMO. Like everybody had a good day at school, and you're like,
And you
damn.
know Bill Nye was on one of the TVs
I know,
at some
you're
point.
like,
Yeah, you're watching
Same
like
thing,
soaps.
like,
All the subs came in.
All
Yeah.
the subs. Oh my god, we had an assembly. All the subs were there. We got candy and pizza.
I missed,
One
Got
day-
way off topic.
I missed reading Rainbow that day. What the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, my 9 to 5 is I work from home, but even before the quarantine, and my job, I'm a sales guy, so I go and visit clients, and I really miss having interaction with people that I work with,
Right.
and people that
Me too.
just every day being able to strike a conversation with somebody and be able to talk out in the open without,
Having a mask on.
without having a mask on or risk of getting sick or getting somebody sick. And
But don't you love
It's been
quarantining
really
with
hot
me?
I love quarantining with my wife.
Boy.
It's been really hot this summer, so with the mask and it being a hot summer, it's just like
Hot
the
girl
rest of
summer.
Hot girl summer.
I get what you just said
Oh my
there.
God.
Like, I'm a first responder with the Department of Public Works, so it's like always like a catastrophe at work, with the whole like COVID thing, the cautions and whatnot. It'd be nice to like work my day job and go back to like going to a bar, doing sound, or checking out a band that's on the
Yeah.
label, or
Right.
something
Something.
new. Just get out
Going
there and do
over to the
shit.
studio and being able to hang out with the band,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, it's like,
You know.
I've been
Actually
afraid
being
to
able
go
to
to
have
the
a band come in.
exactly.
I miss
And
like
then-
just
I'm not
doing
really-
things because
Things,
it's like,
yeah.
God, I do. I love PJ, but it's staying in the house with him all day and doing nothing and staring at each other is just so boring.
I'm not a great cook either, so like I enjoy my nice restaurant experiences, and I have not been able to do that in a long time. And takeout is cool and all, but
We're over
it's
it.
soggy. Like I can't
It's soggy.
I
My
can't
man's getting soggy food.
I can't get
Soggy General Tao's chicken, man. It's not
French
cool.
fries. It's like I ever wanted some French fries. Like nah, like you,
The
you
quality
can't.
of food has gone down since COVID.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I've had nothing but
Because a lot of the
trash.
restaurants over by me closed down for a while. When they opened back up, all the food was
I
awesome.
feel like they've
Yeah.
been getting
The food's great, but then they forget the napkins and the sauces and the knives and the forks.
All right,
You know?
guys.
Alright.
With that, it is time to wrap up our session. Any final comments?
Thanks
Thank
for
you for
listening.
watching.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll
Wear
see you
your
next
masks
time.
so shows can come back, please.
Yes, please
I
wear your
got
mask.
And thank you for joining us, guys.
Bye, Mom.
Bye.
See you guys in therapy.
much.